Well, truth be told, to me, this is a long time coming. I'm happy to be joined by Aaron Morehouse, who is the executive director of Hale Education, and you are almost a year into the tenure.
I'm just a few months shy. August 1st, this last summer was my first day.
Wow, did you come at a really interesting and exciting and important time in the history of this place? Because we had the opportunity to speak with Eric Arnold a couple of times on the podcast network here, and it was right in the middle of the effort to get the conservation restriction. And so here you are taking over after such a great tenure of Eric over many, many years. And I love the fact that he's still around to help, yet has turned the reins over to you. So let's just do a little get to know you a little bit. So when you meet somebody for the first time, you're like, hey, I'm Aaron. How do you sum up your life and what brought you here?
Well, some of my life and what brought me here. Well, first off, I want to just double click on the legacy, the tenure that Eric had here for over 20 years and how tremendous the transition has been, from the support from the board, from the staff, from the community, from Eric himself, and working with him regularly has been fantastic. What got me here? Coming to Hale as the executive director and coming to Westwood, now being a resident of Westwood, is really it's a coming home for me as far as my work is concerned. This organization, Hale, really represents so much that I've been focused on throughout my career. And, my first memories are in New England. My last 10 years was in Vermont. My career has been consistently focused on experiential education. I started out as a mountain guide, a river guide, someone facilitating ropes courses, much like what you find here at Hale, including our brand new climbing wall that we have here. That was a lot of what I was doing when I was in my 20s, but I focused on experiential education in the outdoors, focused on conservation and land preservation and engaging communities for over 20 years. Did that in Maryland, in the Mid-Atlantic, out on Catalina Island off the coast of Los Angeles for several years. I led an organization in Hood River, Oregon, in the Columbia River Gorge. Wow. For several years. And then I took the experiential learning work around the globe and had programs that I ran that were focused on youth and leadership through experiential learning and engagement in local communities in dozens of countries around the world. But this coming here was, as I said, it's coming back to my roots and what's most important, this land and the communities that it supports.
So what you're saying by giving us your history is that you're qualified for the job. I mean, really amazing portfolio of work. And I know how very comprehensive the search was to find you. So what has been your reaction to the questions that you've gotten over this first year, the feedback that you've received from your staff? What do they feel is most important, and what have they leaned on you for? Not only just where are you going to take us, but how are you going to maintain what we've done over so many years?
I mean, it's a great question. And I'd say that the first months of being in a role like this, and this is exactly what I did, is a listening tour and really spending the time to listen to one-on-one meetings with every single staff person, every single board member, corporate board members, community members from the local community, our partner organizations. I came to this role not to say, this is where we're going and this is what we're doing. It's really to learn where is it that we are right now so that we can determine where it is that we're going. And I would say the staff, what they've told me is exactly what's been built into the strategy that we've put together. I brought staff and board together starting in November, so after 3 months of being in the role, and just have wrapped up the development of a strategic framework for the next couple of years. And what the staff is telling me is, let's do what we do really well, do what we're really known for. And as you know, the summer camps, the day camps here at Hale, thousands of kids every summer having the time of their lives, transformational experiences through camp. And those kids come from across our local communities right here, right directly around Hale, as well as across Boston and the greater Boston area. So really doubling down on that, on our summer camps, but also on ensuring that we provide access to camps that for kids that wouldn't otherwise be able to have access to summer camp. And that's really, again, doubling down on what we do well and something that Hale has done. And then I would also say committing and recommitting ourselves to the local community. Our family and community program, many folks know Membership Beach, or formerly known as Membership Beach, South Beach here. We have a revised and refreshed season pass open to really get the local community out. And we're deeply committed to that. It's the local community that came together to ensure that the 1,100 plus acres is getting permanently protected. And part of that is the permanent protection of public access. All of those things that Hale is known very well for, that the staff has really come around, and the board and others have come around to put forward as our path moving forward.
You referenced it, and you teeing me up, because so much of what you just referenced, Hale is able to do because of the land. You know, if it were not the land, you could not offer to this community what you do. And so let's get an update on the conservation restriction. Where does it stand? When I last spoke with Eric, which now I remember was probably last July, so we're pushing 10 months or so. I don't know where it is. So where is it at this point? Because there was so much money raised, but it's such a bureaucratic process that you walk into and have to take over by the reins. Give people an update.
Yeah, sure. And I'll say Eric has remained on staff until later this year. And a big part of that focus is to continue the work on the conservation restriction. And I'll refer to it as a CR, so that the CR is completed and gets over the line. And he's been doing a fantastic job with our partners and with folks that have been so supportive of the process from the task force over these many months. Where we are with the conservation restriction, first I have to say that, again, Hale succeeded in raising $38.5 million to be able to secure that conservation restriction. And that came from our communities. That came from individuals, our neighbors, from donors, individual donors, making sure that this land is protected in perpetuity. So that's a fantastic achievement that is important to recognize. But the filing of the conservation restriction happened, was filed with the state before the end of this last year, the last month of the year, and has been going through a review with the state. The state has now reviewed the conservation restriction, and we'll be bringing it to the town select boards to vote on the conservation restriction, and then it will become official with the state. Our aim is to complete this all by June 30th, and things seem to be on track, and looking forward to what will be the largest tract of land, contiguous tract of land protected in eastern Massachusetts in 100 years.
That's amazing. It's amazing. So you can't, when you take a new job at such a high level, bite off everything at once. And there's a process by which you have to follow a couple of, tried and true strategies. And you apparently took the great first steps of getting to listen to so many different people and talk to different board members. But another part of what you're ultimately going to have to do is get yourself out there in the community. And it was great, for instance, to see you on Sunday at something that's relatively small, but it says something about you, that you show up to the pancake breakfast for the Rotary Club. And I know you're giggling a little bit, but there are things like that are going to have to be on your to-do list, because for you to succeed in this job, you really do need to become as much a part of the community as Eric and his family became over the course of 3-4 decades. So what's your vision in that regard about how people get to know you better and how people get to know what Hale's all about a bit better in our local community?
I would say that I have over many years working in organizations that are serving the local community that I'm embedded in, that I'm a part of, that I get involved. I'd say that first and foremost, it's ensuring that Hale has all of the right ways in which the local communities can really continue to engage. There's so much passive recreation for hiking and biking and family gatherings, all of those kinds of ways that folks enjoy Hale. Making sure that we're providing the access that folks really want from the local communities. So that's something that the local community will see from me. And then, absolutely, I will show up, whether that's at town meeting or for the Rotary Club or for the schools. I'm a regular volunteer in my local communities. This is now my community. So you'll see me out there. I'd say in this first year, a lot of my focus is just making sure that Hale is doing everything that it really needs to be doing, and really focusing on the future of Hale. So you'll see me out and about all over.
That's good, because you're a friendly person. You're a good guy to have a conversation with when you see you in public. One of the things I love about the monthly article that we feature both in the magazine Westwood Living and also online at westwoodliving.com is your eyes are opened to the many different things that you can't know everything as a resident that happens here at Hale. And that's the purpose of the article and your email newsletter too, which by the way, your staff does a great job with. Every month, there's an email newsletter that goes out that says, this is what we're doing this month. And every month I see something that I'm like, I didn't even know they did that. You talked about what used to be known as Membership Beach and kind of a new way to do memberships this summer. We're kind of in that window. So let's talk about that. What are the options for people this year, this summer?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to chat about that. One of the shifts that we've had is really to try to make it as accessible and as affordable as possible. Over the last few years, we've had 2-week sessions that folks could sign up for. What we've done is we've shifted to just having a season pass that goes from beginning of the season to the end of the season. It's going to start opening up on weekends in May, and then we'll be open as school lets out every day. It is a season pass that is, it's $800 for a pass for the whole season for a household. And there are also individual passes and senior passes. But again, it makes it so that you can go to the South Beach anytime. You know, it's hot. It's not just a 2-week window that you can go to. That season pass includes access to the boats, to the beach, to the swimming, to the other activities there at South Beach. And at the same time, though, you can sign up for swim lessons. That is an added cost. That's a la carte. That used to all be rolled in and be all inclusive, but that also made the price point a little higher. You can also sign up your kids for a 2-week session for swim lessons. So that's available. We also have day passes, which are $15 a person. It's $50 for a carload maximum. And for the local communities in Westwood and Dover, we have passes that are available, single passes at the local libraries. So want to take a carload of kids and test it out for a day, you can get one of the passes at the local libraries.
That's a good idea.
And also for the local community, I'd say come out on June 18th. We have a free and open s'mores and swimming and sunset, beautiful evening out on the 18th of June. And that will be free and open gates to the beach for folks to come out and check it out. And lastly, I'd say, and very importantly, we have funding available for veteran households. It's limited funding. It's first come, first serve. There is funding available to cover the cost of passes, a handful of passes for veterans within the community to thank folks for their service.
All right, I'm going to leave you with this question, put you on the spot a little bit. What gives you the most satisfaction when you're in this type of role and there's so much that you oversee? What does give you the most satisfaction?
I'd say what gives me the most satisfaction is joy. When you see young folks out, whether it's the many, many schools and organizations with kids on the challenge courses or the climbing wall, or kids, coming out of the water in summer camp, or, kids really learning more about this place, the place that is their backyard, and you see in that joy, you literally are seeing transformation happen. That makes us all go. That's what powers this place, is a lot of joy.
It's cool to think that there are so many people who spend time here that you're making lifetime memories for these people. They look back a generation from now and say, remember that summer that we spent at Hale?
I was just talking to someone. We're talking 3 and 4 generations of folks that have come to Hale. I have a new board member, their kids, their grandkids, they themselves have all come to Hale. And it's a story that I've heard over and over again, that this is such a treasured and cherished place, and so blessed and grateful to be a part of it.
Well, we appreciate some of your time. I certainly appreciate your support of everything we do at Westwood Living. For those of you who've never met Aaron, I'm sure you're going to get the chance to do so over the course of the next months and years. And come on by. I mean, you just heard some of the great things that are available this summer. So I encourage you to hop on the website. It is hale.education, and I'm sure you can get all of those details there and follow up and get your summer pass. But good luck.
Cool.
I really appreciate all of your time. And if there's anyone else, folks, you want me to have a conversation with, you know the deal. Just send me an email to tleyden@bestversionmedia.com. I'll find that person, have a conversation, and share it with you right here on the Westwood Living Podcast Network. But for now, for Aaron Morehouse at Hale, I'm Tom Leyden saying so long and thanks for listening.